Hi, I'm Vince Weston. Well, I haven't done a video in a while, and that's because I was doing an awful lot of work here on Cap. As you can see, I've reshaped him completely so that he's in a completely different position and done everything to him, and he's all done. Only kidding. That's a Hallmark thing I bought several years ago, and I've kind of been using it as a model. It does seem to have all the right coloration marks that I would want, so I have been using him. But what I actually have been doing is suffering with cabin fever and cold weather, and not really getting down to the workbench as much as I wanted. Just work's been in the way and a few other things, but I have come down to getting this far. I've got, let's see if I can get him to stand. There we go. I've got Cap all put together. I've sanded down all the gaps and seams, and I think we're in pretty good shape. Couple of things I have done. I used a piece of sheet styrene here. First off, to help build up the glove a little bit, because this was the arm that the shield was on. If you see the original behind, his shield was here, and my intention is to put it over here, which is kind of why the rubber band is there. I've been working, just making sure I had him in the right place. So, of course, being all blue, it's not going to show up that well. But this also covers the hole, made the glove look a little bit more open. Other than that, and filling gaps, and trying to figure out how I'm going to put the shield on the front, Cap wasn't really too much of a problem. One thing I did find out was this boot actually had a heel to it, and this boot did not. It was all flat straight across. Of course, this would have been the back foot, and you probably would have never noticed anyway. With what I've done with changing his direction, I spent a little time sanding up inside and adding a little bit more of a heel, so, which worked out pretty well because it helps balance him a lot better, as you can see. Let's see. One of the real problems I've had with this kit so far actually is on Red Skull, and I thought I was going to mention this last time, but I didn't when I was talking about Red Skull. But it was this hand. When the hand was molded, he was missing the end of his thumb here and the whole top of his index finger. I guess it was just a molding flaw. When they were injecting, there must have been air bubbles in there, and it didn't get up inside. So I took a little stretch sprue and some super glue, and I've built up his finger and his thumb. The thumb actually I did completely with super glue, but that took a few minutes. One of the other issues I know I mentioned, I'll go to this one first, was the belt loop is actually on a seam, and it didn't really look right. It was all gappy and all messy, so I just sanded it flat and put in a piece of styrene for that, to flatten, or to give it the look of the other side, so they kind of look more matching now. One of the other things I'm sure I talked about last time was that they seemingly had reversed from the drawing, from the instructions. This arm was straight out and this arm was bent, and it looked like they decided in the final to reverse that, but didn't really change the molding, because this side should have had the Nazi patch, and I've spent some time, I think I pointed this out before, spent some time flattening that out and I put a couple of pieces of wire on there to give it the raised look that it'll need, and then I'll just paint that up and that'll be fine. So he's pretty much done. I'm really at the stage right now of it's time to clean and prepare to paint. I have done some work on the base because I had to figure out standing position since I was reversing them 180 degrees, and of course I didn't want to have Cap's shield right up against Red Skull. So I think I've got that kind of worked out, where I know this isn't going to stay, but where Red Skull will be like this and Cap will be somewhere around this area. So it'll look, I haven't quite figured out exact final positions, but I'm figuring that I'm going to bring them pretty much forward on the base, which of course means that all the mounting lugs on this are going to have to be removed. Let's see if I can get something a little bit smaller to point with. There's a lug here, a lug here, a lug here, and a lug here, which would normally fit up inside the shoe, which I have filled, because when I wash this I don't want to get it full of water. So I've sealed those up. So I'll have to take those lugs off and rework that. Another major flaw I found in the kit, well, it's not really major, but another flaw I found in the kit was this pipe right here. And so I'm glad I worked. A lot of times when I build these, the base is kind of the last thing I do. I've spent all the time getting the character built, and then I come in and do the base. But this time, since I had to move them around, the issue really was that the bottom of this part of the hose was a square peg, which was supposed to fit into a square peg down here on the base. But unfortunately, they don't line up. So I've wound up, I just rounded over this one so it'll fit. And I did heat it up a little bit to get it a little stretched, so it kind of fit a little bit better. But otherwise, that was, half an hour's worth of work. But that's kind of where I'm at. I'm hoping maybe if I can keep up my strength, I'll get some primer on these guys. I'm probably going to do Cap in white and Red Skull in some dark, but of course I have to wash them first. Because of Cap's white parts, I want to make sure I have those figured out. So that's kind of where I'm at, and we'll call that even for now. So until next time, thanks for watching, thanks for submitting, or subscribing, I should say, submitting. And yeah, actually, thanks for putting out videos. I really appreciate it. I enjoy watching them. I have fallen behind on those too, but I'm starting to catch up a little bit, or at least get up to current. So thanks, and we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.